What is up, everybody? My name is Reggie, and today we have something a little special. We're doing a preview of this little game right here called Trickadee. This game is live right now on Kickstarter if you're watching this the day that this comes out. I don't tend to do a lot of previews on the channel myself. I have done previews for OFPG, several of them, but I like to be very selective with my previews, and when one comes across my desk that I'm interested in for one reason or another, I will consider doing a preview. This prototype was provided to me by Coin Flip Games, so I'm going to be as objective as possible and just give you the preview you need to know if this is for you or not. So let me start by reading you a nice quick overview from the Kickstarter page. Trickadee is a trick-taking game about spotting cool birds that visit your backyard feeder. Create flocks each round by collecting birds from every trick, win or lose. Use unique actions to cleverly build those flocks and win the title of Best Birder on the Block. The player with the most points after 3 rounds wins the game. So that is it in a nutshell. It is a trick-taking game based on the birds of the region, the Pacific Northwest, the Seattle area, which is where my own personal bias will come in. These are birds that I get to see every single day. Maybe you just clicked on this video because of the birds, and so maybe you don't have a good understanding of what trick-taking is. I'll give you a quick primer here. Trick-taking games are typically card games where over a series of rounds, in turn, players will play one card into the middle of the table, and someone will, after everyone has played one card, get to take an entire trick. There's usually suits involved. Either the first player will choose a lead suit. There's also typically a trump suit, a suit that will beat all of the other suits. Think hearts, think spades. Trickadee also has a nice little trump suit function as well. There are also other popular modern games that use this mechanic, such as the Crew or Skull King, so you know what to expect when you're getting into Trickadee. But it is not a standard trick-taking game. This one has a few nice little twists. First and foremost, one singular person is not taking the entire trick afterward. You will determine player order every single trick, and then you get to draft cards. Whether you win or lose, everyone will get to draft one card and put it in their flock for final scoring. And there are also some special abilities that you can use that just shake things up a bit. Finally, it is not a standard must-follow trick-taking game if you are familiar with those. So someone will lead the trick, and then going forward, you can play any suit that has already been played. And again, there is the trump suit, which we'll talk about in a moment. So quickly, I'll just talk about the credits of the game, and then we'll get to how to play. So again, the publisher is Coin Flip Games. Thank you so much for this prototype copy. Rob Newton is the designer. He's also designed a game called Sonora that is a dexterity flicking game. You may have heard of. I think it would be great if there's a love child of these two games called Flickadee. We're all waiting for that. That'd be great. The artist name is Kelsey King, plays 3 to 5 players in about 30 minutes for ages 10 and up. And I will say, with their unique leading mechanic that you can follow with any suit that's already been played, I do think this game shines at the higher side of the player counts at the 5 players. Okay, so what is in the box? In here, you've got a bunch of bird cards. There's some ability cards. There's some nice reference cards that will help you with final scoring and the distribution of the cards as well. There are some sunflower seed tokens that you will spend to play the abilities. There are the player order tokens, a scorecard, and a rulebook. Okay, so once you understand how a trick is played and how the scoring goes, it is pretty straightforward, but I do want to just show you a card just so you can see the anatomy of a card here. There is the color, which is the suit. There is the rank, which is the number up top, and then there is also the species on there. So this is a beautiful, beautiful mourning dove. Again, Kelsey King, great art. But what that means is that there are 3 things to keep track of. If you're playing a standard hearts or spades, you will not really have to worry about that. But on the reference cards, it's got everything you need to know. I'm sure there was a lot of math that went into this to understand the rank distribution and the suit distribution as well. And one final thing to note is before every single round, there is going to be a lifer card determined, and that is the species here. So we're not worried about the blue here of the suit or the number. The black-capped chickadee is the lifer species, and I will just say, as the resident bird nerd, that is very thematic. A lifer species is a bird that you have seen for the first time. You might write it down in your journal or put it in whatever bird app you're using. So that is a very thematic twist of basically what a trump suit is. It's just not a suit, it is the species part on the card. So we're gonna look at how a trick plays out. and we're gonna look right inside the rulebook here. So the example I just showed you was the black-capped chickadee is the lifer or the trump species here. So first player is Stacy. She plays a blue mourning dove. Femi is the second player. He has a blue card in his hand, so he must play it after the first player. But Heidi is the third player and does not have a blue card or the lifery species, which is a chickadee, so she chooses to play a yellow woodpecker. Fourth player can play blue or yellow, only has blue, so plays blue. And then the fifth player has both, but chooses to play the yellow because they want to get more sunflower seeds by coming in last place. And that piece is the final piece that makes it really, really interesting on this game. If you are interested in trick takers already, this is a nice twist here. After everything is played, you will rank the people with these first and second and so on, and these little tokens are going to determine, and again, this is a prototype, this might not be how they look going forward, but these will determine who gets to draft a card from the middle first, and you're going to take one of those blue or yellow cards that were played and put them in front of you. You all start with one card to kind of start your flock, and you are trying to do one of a few things, which is you're trying to get a sequence of numbers in order, you're trying to get the same suit, the same species, or exactly the same rank, all of which are going to score you different points depending on each flock. So being first is great because you get to draft the card that you want for the best scoring. However, if you are later in player order, you're going to receive these sunflower seeds, and that is what you get to spend on various abilities. And the various abilities really change up your flock and can help you change things from your hand, give you a better hand or give you better scoring. So now we're going to jump ahead to the end of a round and look at how the scoring works of the flock that's in front of you. So if we just look at AK up here, again, they have a mourning dove and a rufous hummingbird, both blue, 7 and 8. So that will score them 4 points because they have a sequence of numbers and the same suit, 2 points and 2 bird cards. Now, if we look over at the next example, the 2 chickadees, a 1 and a 2, they actually used the sunflower seed to make it the same color. So then they got the sequence, the suit and the species, 3 points times the 2 birds. So that's an example of what the sunflower seeds can do. If you look at these Junco, yellow 5 Junco, sadly by themselves, no points. And then the woodpeckers just are the same species, so that will score 1 point times the 2 birds. So that is an example of how the scoring works, and you can imagine all the different ways that the abilities can shake things up and move cards from your hand and move cards from your flock, which are very beneficial for scoring after this. So this game really has the general trick taking, but instead of that, let's just cash in the entire trick. There are some special abilities and different ranking and orders, and you might not want to take any card in this trick that badly, so you might actually play a card that's going to lose the trick because you want more seeds because the abilities are more powerful for you. So let's move on to who this game really is for. In the end, I think Trickadee is for 3 different groups of people. It is for the folks who are trick-taking diehards who want to just play every single trick-taking game, especially ones that shake it up and get outside of the standard trick-taking formula. The second group, I think it's for those people who actually have been timid from trick-taking and don't think that it's really for them, but I think this one might bring you in because, again, it has a different flow, feels more like some of the modern mechanics like drafting and abilities that a lot of board gamers like. And 3, I think Trickadee is a game for any sort of bird lover, card game, nature lover of any kind with any level of experience for trick taking, because it really is a welcoming little card game with a very, very cute theme that is Trickadee. So there's my preview for Trickadee. Thank you, Coin Flip Games. Again, all of you watching, go check out the Kickstarter, really make your own decision, but I hope that you learned what this beautiful little card game is all about. Check it out on Kickstarter now for the next 30 days. So get on it as soon as you can, and I'll see you in the next one.